Nolan Ryan. A name that became synonymous with speed, power, and longevity in baseball. For nearly 3 decades, he stood on the pitcher's mound and challenged some of the greatest hitters in baseball history. His fastball was terrifying. His determination was relentless. And his records remain almost impossible to believe. Born on January 31, 1947, in Refugio, Texas, Nolan Ryan grew up with a powerful throwing arm. As a young player, he dreamed of reaching the major leagues. That dream became reality in 1966. Ryan made his Major League Baseball debut with the New York Mets. At first, he was talented but inconsistent. His control was not always reliable. But one thing was already obvious. Nolan Ryan could throw incredibly hard. Over the years, he developed into one of baseball's most feared pitchers. That move changed his career. With the Angels, he became a dominant strikeout pitcher. His fastball seemed almost impossible for hitters to catch. In 1973, Ryan made baseball history. He threw his first career no-hitter. But that was only the beginning. 2 years later, he threw another no-hitter. Then another. And another. By the end of his career, Nolan Ryan had thrown 7 no-hitters. That remains the most in Major League Baseball history. But Ryan's greatest achievement may have been his incredible longevity. Most pitchers struggle to remain dominant for many years. Ryan continued doing it for decades. He eventually played for the Houston Astros. In 1981, he signed with Houston and brought his legendary fastball to the National League. His strikeout numbers continued to rise. In 1983, Ryan reached another historic milestone. He recorded his 3,509th career strikeout. That moved him past Walter Johnson for the most strikeouts in Major League history. But Ryan was not finished. He kept pitching. He kept striking out hitters. And he kept challenging Father Time. Then came one of the most remarkable moments of his career. On May 1, 1991, Nolan Ryan was 44 years old. Ryan stepped onto the mound for the Texas Rangers. That night, he threw the 7th and final no-hitter of his career. At 44 years old. It was an extraordinary demonstration of his durability and competitive spirit. Ryan finished his career in 1993. He had spent an incredible 27 seasons in Major League Baseball. He finished with 324 victories. He recorded 5,714 strikeouts. That remains the highest career strikeout total in MLB history. He also finished with 7 no-hitters, 8 All-Star selections, and a reputation as one of the most intimidating pitchers ever to play the game. But Nolan Ryan's story was not simply about statistics. It was about persistence. Ryan answered those doubts with hard work. He continued improving. He continued competing. And he continued throwing one of the most famous fastballs baseball had ever seen. Even late in his career, hitters knew exactly what was coming. A powerful fastball. Yet stopping it was another matter. Nolan Ryan retired at the age of 46. But his legacy was only beginning. In 1999, he was inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame. His career had become part of baseball history. Today, generations of fans remember Nolan Ryan as more than a great pitcher. He represents an era when endurance, toughness, and determination defined baseball. His records tell one part of the story. 7 no-hitters. 5,714 strikeouts. 27 seasons. But behind every number was a competitor who refused to slow down. Nolan Ryan was known as the Ryan Express. And for nearly 3 decades, that train kept coming. Fast, powerful, relentless, and almost impossible to stop. That is the legacy of Nolan Ryan. One of baseball's greatest pitchers. One of its most remarkable competitors. And a legend whose records continue to echo through the history of Major League Baseball.